Good morning. It's Jerry with another car commentary. I'm driving to work this morning and figured I'd say something about what President Barack Obama said about Islam. He said that Islam, he continues to say that Islam is a religion of peace. Well, I happen to know that there are peaceful Muslims out there. There are guys out there who I have met, who are friends of mine, some Facebook friends who are Muslim, who have always been peaceful, who want nothing but peace. The problem with saying Islam is a peaceful religion is it just doesn't match up with the doctrine of the Quran, and it doesn't match up with democracy. You see, the way we think of democracy, well, everybody's equal. Everybody gets a vote, everybody gets the same rights. Well, in Islam, that doesn't happen. According to the Quran, a woman's testimony is that half that of a man. In other words, if a woman goes to court and says, I saw this man do that, she needs a witness to equal the man's testimony. Here in America, we believe everybody is equal so far as in their testimony. We also believe that all religions have a right to practice their religion. Well, in Islam, according to the Quran, the only religion that can proselytize is Islam. It's the Muslim religion. If you're a Christian, for instance, in a Muslim country, you cannot proselytize. You cannot build another church. You cannot seek to gain new converts. The penalty for that is death. When you say that Islam is a peaceful religion, you have to remember, Islam believes that if you convert to Christianity, you commit apostate. If you are an apostate, the penalty is death. In other words, if you're a Muslim who decides to become anything but a Muslim, the penalty according to the Quran is death. Remember, the Quran is the final authority in Islam. Now, one of the things Islam does is it teaches that Muhammad's behavior, the Prophet Muhammad, was perfect. Everything he did was perfect. Everything he did was fine. In other words, Muhammad did not break any laws. Okay? To say that Muhammad broke a law would be considered an insult against the Prophet, worthy of death. So if Muhammad didn't break a law, but he married a 9-year-old girl, then today a 9-year-old girl is eligible is eligible to be married and is of wedlock or marrying age. Muhammad promoted the use of slavery. So every Muslim today would say slavery is not wrong. Why? Because Muhammad said it wasn't. You see, these are not principles that are conducive to democracy. So as long as we in America and the Western world believe in democracy, you cannot have peace in your country if Muslims become a majority. In other words, if Muslims become the majority of any country, they will institute Muslim law, Sharia law. Why? Because that's what the Quran teaches them. They have to. They don't have a choice. So, yes, technically Islam is a religion of peace, but the caveat is for Muslims who agree. They are not a religion of peace for atheists. They're not a religion of peace for agnostics. They're not a religion of peace for pagans, for people who believe in more than one God. They're not a religion of peace for vegans. They're not a religion of peace for homosexuals. They're not a religion of peace for women. In other words, all of these people have got to submit to Islam or the penalty is death. It's just that simple. Now, we Christians, well, we can get along with Muslims according to the Quran. The problem is we have to agree to be second-class citizens. We have to agree to be subservient to Muslims. We have to agree to pay taxes to Muslims. Why? Because we're Christians. You see, Jews too, by the way, can live with Muslims under the same rules. So President Obama is saying something that he believes is true only because he doesn't understand the nature of Islam, which is kind of shocking because he was raised in the most Islamic nation in the world. Now, a lot of people think he's a Muslim. I happen to think he's an atheist. But he surely is not being truthful and forthright when he says Islam is a religion of peace, because he has to put caveats in there that says, but not conducive to democracy. They are a religion of peace, but not conducive to democracy. They cannot have peace in a democracy like we have in America. Simple. Just that simple, okay? So I mean, no harm or no insult to any Muslim or any friend of mine. If you think I'm wrong, if I'm saying something wrong, please send me a message. Respond to this post. Tell me, Jerry, you're wrong, and tell me why I'm wrong. And I'll be happy to look at it. But I know I'm not, because I know that no Muslim, not one Muslim, not a single Muslim in this world would say that the Quran is wrong. There is no Muslim in the world that would say that the Prophet Muhammad was immoral. The Prophet Muhammad was not speaking for God. So everything he said is still true today, according to every Muslim. Okay? So have a good day, and talk to you tomorrow.